today. I hope everyone is having a fabulous day. I know I am. To God be the glory that I woke up this morning. I am so grateful to have another day living this fantastic life with the ones that I love. Anyway, I am headed I'm on a mission, dolls. So me and my sister, hey sister dear, we play off each other. So we get on our kicks of saving money. We're gonna save, we're gonna do no spend challenge, we're gonna blip, 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 right? And then we get on our kicks with this dang on TikTok. And what I mean, let me give you an example. So I ran out and purchased these little containers so I could organize my spices, have it all labeled, organized, and I thought that would help me out when I'm cooking, give me a better cooking experience, right? And so I did a TikTok on it, and my sister saw it and was like, oh, that's a good idea. So she went and did her spices too. So now it's this fragrance thing. You guys know on TikTok how they talk about layering the fragrances, pairing the fragrances. So I guess there's this sand fog trend. Anyway, she's hooked on it. And she sent me a TikTok. And I was like, I have so many things though. I'm trying to use up what I already have. But then there's a couple different ones that I just have the body mist. No lotions or anything to go with it. I really like the smell, but they don't last long. And I'm trying to watch my coins, right? So I'm not really trying to purchase the expensive niche fragrances or designer fragrances. So I sent her a message and I said, what are they pairing with this Old Cherry by Bath and Body Works? And immediately she sent it right back. Is it called Cherry Kiss? Something like that. I don't know. I'm on a mission to hunt this down. And the thing is, they only sell them at TJ Maxx and Marshalls. And we know how that goes. All TJ Maxx and Marshalls don't carry the same thing. And once they enter, they're gone. And so I'm like, am I on this mission, driving all the way out here, because you live in the country, to this TJ Maxx and Marshalls on a hope and a prayer that I find this fragrance. Now, don't get me wrong. I think I'm going to find a fragrance. One of them, but probably not the one that I'm looking for. Just my love. So if I don't, dolls, that is telling me your ass don't need to be buying it anyway, because you're supposed to be saving your coins and building wealth and being more disciplined and not buying what you don't need. And I definitely do not need this. But anyway, that's where I'm heading. So I thought this would be the perfect time to pop on here to discuss some TV series that I've been watching. We're going to start with Solo Travel with Tracy Ellis Ross's series on Roku. So I already did a little 4-minute rant on this on my podcast, Low Unmuted. If y'all don't know about it, check it out. It's in my Substack. I'm going to put the link in the description box. So my Substack has my Dollhouse Diaries newsletter, because you can't capture everything in a vlog. So if you want to know a little bit more of the behind the scenes or the nuances or things that I was thinking, I'm going to be putting that in the newsletter, as well as on my podcast, which is called Low Unmuted. And it's not a long podcast. It's just thoughts, whatever I feel. If I want to just pick up the mic and just blah, 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 say something that's on my heart, that's on my mind, that's where that's going to be. So check that out. Anyway, I digress. Back to the show, Solo Travel. So I don't know. I was so excited about this series, dolls, because I am a huge fan of Tracy Ellis Ross. Like, seriously, Girlfriends. I used to watch that series, and I just thought Joan was so cool. The character that Tracy played. And then in Blackish, I loved her as the wife, as the mom. Like, she's just a great actress. She's an inspiration. I love her empowerment, the vibe she gives off. She's beautiful. She doesn't settle. Standards are high. But anyway, I was expecting so much from this show. And that's my problem. Like, my expectations in life, all things in life, are so high. I said it was a problem, but maybe it's not a problem. It kind of isolates me from a lot of things because I'm always up here. I think up here, I do up here, like I expect up here. And it's hard to find people to match that energy. But anyway, I keep getting off subjects. I'm sorry, dolls. Back to the show. So it starts, she's getting ready, she's packing with these luxurious pieces, to die for pieces. She's a fashion icon. But then we get to the trip. It's a full damn production team. Tracy, that is not solo travel. That is you and a whole production team filming. I don't know what I expected. Well, you know what? I know what I was expecting. I have gotten spoiled watching travel vlogs. One in particular, this YouTuber by the name of Jasmine Giselle. I'm going to drop her link in the description below as well. Now, Jasmine, she does solo travel, and of course it's just her camera. She does her editing. She's doing everything. Now, I know she's a celebrity and she has more resources, and it's not uncommon for it to be like that, but I just thought I was going to get like a real solo traveler experience, like maybe the camera crew more behind the scenes and it looks more like she's by herself, and more interaction with the locals. So like Jasmine's vlogging, she shows the places, she shows interacting with the locals, actually going to the places. When she's sick, she shows she's not feeling well. I don't know, just more of a real experience, reality. I was so disappointed when I didn't see that. And this is the first season, so I can't imagine watching another season. I don't think that if I did watch it, it'll be something that I have playing on in the background while maybe I'm cooking or editing or doing something else, and I have to have background noise. But to actually watch it, to get something out of it, I don't think I will be tuning in for another season. So anyway, if you haven't checked it out, go check it out for yourself. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And if you haven't checked out Jasmine's YouTube channel, go check her out, y'all. She's doing some amazing things. She's an incredible lady, very adventurous, intelligent. Yeah, go check her out. So on to the next show. And just like that is a spin-off from Sex and the City. And it's showing them in the next chapters of their life, midlife. And I really like it because it's so relatable. So relatable. The whole gang is back, minus, who was my favorite? Samantha. Minus Samantha. And they have a new character, Nicole Parker Irie, or Nicole Irie Parker. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But anyway, y'all know who I'm talking about. She's playing a character in it. I love her character, her family. But anyway, what I wanted to talk about was this one particular scene where Carrie Bradshaw, so she's still a writer, and she's writing a novel. She's moved into a new place, out with the old, in with the new. She gave up her apartment, the jewel box, and she has this really nice, lavish flat. And the apartment under the flat, there's a guy who is visiting from out of country, and he's there to write. So he's working on his novel, and he's a famous writer. She didn't know who he was, but he's a famous writer. Anyway, so Carrie had a boyfriend at the time, Aiden, and that didn't work out. Just all this drama, which, you know, let me sidebar. At this stage in our life, do we really want to deal with that type of drama? Like, she was dealing with one of his sons is going through some growing pains because him and his mother are divorced now, and he didn't want that, and he doesn't really want his dad to move on. And so she has to kind of shrink herself for the sake of the relationship and getting along with his son and things of that nature. And So now they're in a relationship. They don't see each other, but they see each other. So he came to visit her, and then he confessed that he slept with his ex-wife. They had a moment, and she forgave him because she was like, well, 5 years, were we really not going to sleep with other people? Which I was just like, what is all of this? It was just a lot. It was a lot. That's not something I want to deal with. That does not give off peaceful vibes at all. At all. And I'm sorry, I just cannot and will not. So the writer, she enjoys his company. I think he was kind of fancying her. So she was talking to Miranda about it, and she was saying how nice it was for a man to not just recognize her as being sexy or, you know, being attractive. The attractiveness was her intellect, which I thought was really interesting. It made me think. It made me go, how many men out here actually are just attracted to a woman being smart? And that's first. I mean, I know they say men are visual creatures, but you can't visualize and appreciate intellect at the forefront. I don't know. So that part made me think. But here's the kicker. This is what I wanted to really discuss. So she finishes her novel. She takes it to her publicist. And her publicist says, oh, I can't wait to read the final chapter. And Carrie's like, well, that was it. And the publicist says something along the lines of, well, the woman's just alone in a garden by herself. And back during those times, that would have been taboo. But Carrie was like, is there something wrong with her being by herself? Like, she wasn't in a romantic relationship, no love interest. She was just in her garden. It was like a happy ending. But the publicist described it as a tragic romance. So that made me thinking about that. I'm like, why is it that all happy endings have to end with you being in a relationship, committed? Your happily ever after has to include a partner. It can't just be you. There's another movie that I watched years and years ago, and it ended like that. It ended with, she didn't get the guy. It was just her, and she was happy in her own space. And I remember thinking back then, like, oh, that was different. Like, how's that a happy ending? So even I succumb to society's perspective and norm of the happy ending. You have to be with someone. And if you're not with someone, if it ends in love loss, but you're still happy, you're still thriving in your own skin, then that's not a happy ending. That's all. So sad. I hope she finds somebody, or I hope he finds somebody. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'm done with that one. Let me know in the comments below. Do you guys watch these series? Or are these shows that you watch? So the last show that I want to talk about is none other than the Gilded Age. So last night was the season finale of the Gilded Age, and let me tell you, dolls, oh, it was so good. It was so good. It was so good. This could have been a little vlog in itself. Like, I could have just sat down and talked about this the whole time, because there's so much to unpack in that episode. Maybe I will do that. I don't know. Nah, I'm gonna talk about it now. So, as you all know, those of you that watched the Gilded Age, last week George was shot, and so this week he pulled through. But of course, they can't speak on it. Nobody will be able to know, because they didn't want to jeopardize the railroad business. So, anyway, Bertha went ahead with the ball, and he encouraged Bertha to go ahead with the ball because he didn't want it to jeopardize the business, the gossiping, and this was her debut as the head figure of society, whereas normally it's Mrs. Ashtor. But in what she was doing in this episode with her ball is she was going against the norms. Back in those days, women were shunned when they were divorced, meaning they could not participate in any of the balls, and people would talk about them behind their back. They were kind of ostracized. Well, anyway, Bertha was inviting her to the ball, as well as Mrs. Astor's daughter to the ball, who allegedly had an affair. Her husband found out, he's divorcing her. And so rather than just include those ladies, life happens, men do it all the time type thing, they would normally shun them, kick them out of society. Well, Bertha had the ball and was inclusive of everyone, which I love that. But what was interesting was the ending. We're going to just jump to the ending. So, because Bertha was so ruthless in securing her daughter a spot as the Duchess and marrying her off to the Duke, which her daughter did not want to do. So Bertha is the HH6. Like, she runs the household, right? He runs the business. He already knew she was ambitious. She's beautiful. She's intelligent. And I think that when she started to be successful in her own role and she was doing things to make things happen, he didn't like that. Now, he does it as well. He said his tagline was, I am ambitious and ruthless with business, not the ones I love. And she said, I am ruthless for the ones I love. Which I totally agree. I agreed with her. And so now he is pretty much saying, in a nutshell, what he's looking at, he no longer thinks he wants. And so he is going back to stay in the club. He is not living in the home right now. But I thought that was just so interesting. So it's okay when they do it, but when we do it, it's a problem. And isn't it like that in life? Like, how many women, they might start off together as a couple, growing together, it's good. But if she starts to outgrow the other person, be more successful, be it more education, be it climbing the ranks in the military, anything, you know, surpassing her spouse, it seems like that it's a problem. Yeah, we're supposed to be so supportive and the cheerleaders and rooting them on. Yeah. But when it's our turn, there's insecurities that set in, jealousies that set in, there's envy that sets in. And why is that? Why isn't it the same? When I get, sometimes when people grow, they change, because with growth comes change. And some people, when they start to grow, they get the big head or they change who they are as a person towards their loved ones. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people that don't do that. Yet their spouses or significant others have a problem with it. So needless to say, I did not like that ending, because I feel like they are a power couple, right? Which was shown when he got shot. She was right there, standing right above his head, making sure that, look at me, focus on me, listen to me. And if he would have lost that business, she would have been right there to support him, come together with a plan, like, well, okay, well, what do we need to do next? Like, she would have been offering her support to help them get back to where they are. He's not doing that for her. It's a problem. Yeah, what happened to that? I don't know. So anyway, needless to say, I did not like the ending, and I don't know what to expect coming back for the next season. Because if they get divorced, I'm just gonna be like, okay. Okay. Anyway, I have made it to my destination, dolls, and I'm gonna get in here and hopefully they have it. And if not, I have another Marshall's that's closer to the house I can hit up. But I'm really hoping they have it. And then too, maybe I can look. I didn't write a list. I like to have a list of things that I possibly could need on my upcoming trip. But I don't know. I came in here for one thing and one thing only. And so I'm going to stick to that one thing. How y'all like $6? Y'all like $6, dolls? I think she's cute. You know, I have a new braid pattern, so it's like a lot flatter. But I think she's cute. What y'all think? Anyway, let me get in the store. I'll chat with y'all later. And if I don't, I'll see you in the next one, dolls.